Hello, everyone. What is going on? Howdy, howdy. Welcome to Ask the CHOQTOR Live. I am your friendly neighborhood doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine, Dr. Matt Dorsey, also known as the CHOQTOR. CHOQ Chief Scientific Guy, aka Officer. Hello, everybody. I still got a few folks here. Hello, Mr. N, Muhammad, and Z. How are you? I would like to apologize. The scheduling was a bit off. Whenever I set this up yesterday, I was supposed to actually input the date for today, Tuesday, but I accidentally put it in for Monday. So I did see that some of y'all actually showed up yesterday at 7:30 p.m. Central, and I am sorry about that. That was just a little mishap in terms of scheduling. So yes. And Mr. N, I'm wondering, are you also Mr. R? Did you change your name, or Mr. N, are you a different person? Hello, Sam. How's it going? Howdy, howdy. Who else do we have on here? I see everybody's starting to file in here. Very cool. How was y'all's weekend? How was your post-Thanksgiving experience? Yeah, I saw you guys were chatting for a while as I was absent. So at least I gave you all a forum for talking and chilling. What's up, Trion? How's it going? Oh, there we go, Mr. R. Okay, so we have a Mr. N and a Mr. R now. interesting. All right. I was just curious. We do have, there's that one person who always changes their name. It's always got CHOQ in the title. It's like, CHOQMeister or Chocolata or whatever. So just wondering if perhaps you changed your name, but I guess not. Obviously, Mr. R, you are probably going to be Mr. R forever. Hello. Greetings from Montenegro. Cool. It's always cool when we have international people here. Yeah. Hey, Dylan, how's it going? Well, yeah. What do you guys got for me? How was your weekend? Mine was pretty awesome. Got to do some hanging out. Got to do some art, some dancing. Had a good time with a friend in town and see some live music. It's pretty awesome. Mr. N says I'm CHOQ guy. Okay, cool. Very cool. Why are you Mr. N today? I'm curious. What is that about? And Mahalo has a question. Yeah, you guys start throwing questions at me. That would be excellent. Let's get the questions going. What would you like to know about? Are you guys checking out the CHOQ stacks? Z, to answer your question, I saw some like it was like basically just DJs dancing, that sort of thing, live music with lots of dancing and DJs and whatnot. How are you guys liking the CHOQ stacks? Has anybody checked out the stacks yet? Should I go ahead and just plug those once more? Couldn't be a bad idea. For those of you guys who don't know, probably all of y'all have heard by now, but we do have pre-made stacks. We have the female and male vitality stack and the female and male vitality stack ultra. We have just those four for right now, but be on the lookout for a lot of stacks in the future. The stacks are basically a pre-made, like a formula made out of individual products, essentially, to get maximum results. And the entry-level stacks, those are 3-product stacks. The female vitality ultra has shilajit, Irish moss, and ashwagandha, and the male vitality ultra, female vitality regular has those 3. Female vitality regular, male vitality stack regular has daily, ashwagandha, and tomcat. And then it's actually a 6-product stack for the large ones, the ultra ones, and those are pretty potent there. So yeah, in case any of you guys haven't heard of it, just wanted to run those by you. JJ says I ordered, so excited. That's awesome. Good for you, JJ. JJ, which stack did you get? I'm curious. Did you get the male vitality ultra? Let's see here. What are your opinions on squalene supplement and all its benefits? Mahalo, I have not really looked into squalene as a supplement, but I do know that it is important for the nervous system. I'm not so sure about shark liver oil. I've never looked into the quality of those kind of products. There are non-animal sources of squalene. I have heard you can find it in trace amounts in certain plants. I can't remember which ones off the top of my head, but certainly squalene is important for the brain. Yeah. JJ says, what can you teach us about NACET? N-A-C-E-T. JJ, could you tell me what NACET is? Oh, JJ, female. Okay, gotcha. Sorry, with a name like JJ, sometimes I assume, because usually when I see somebody with the name JJ, it's usually a guy. But yeah, what is NACET? Are you referring to NAC? Just wondering what NACET is. Never heard of that. Muhammad got the CHOQ Stack Ultra. Awesome. Good for you, Muhammad. That's fantastic. Sam, thoughts on turmeric? I heard it's good. Others say it's not so good. Sam, I don't know who is saying turmeric is not good, because it is freaking amazing. Sam, I don't know who out there is a turmeric naysayer, but turmeric is a fantastic herb. As far as supporting a healthy inflammation response, helping with the immune system, supporting healthy glutathione, supporting mood health. I mean, turmeric is fantastic. What I will say is that so turmeric is like $1 billion industry, right? Just in and of itself, just that one plant, because it's such an amazing herb. And, there are many different potencies and kinds of turmeric out there. If you're just getting something real cheap, like, if it's like $8 at the grocery store, that's going to be probably just turmeric powder in a capsule, right? And that's okay, but it's not the best, because really turmeric powder is dirt cheap. You're just taking the root, you're powdering it. There are a bunch of different capsules. There are a bunch of different extracts that you can get that are phenomenal. And it used to be, for a while, they were combining with black pepper. That's the old tech, the whole turmeric black pepper thing. It enhances the bioavailability, supposedly. But the new tech, there's all different ways of getting greatly enhanced bioavailability of the curcuminoids from the turmeric. There's a particular proprietary one out there called BCM95. That's not a brand per se. That's just a specific kind of proprietary turmeric that you'll find various brands use. But BCM95 is fantastic. It's one of the best ones out there. That is phenomenal. So I do. That is one of the best turmeric extracts that I have found, is the BCM95. And I've even spoken with the company who manufactures it one-on-one when I was at one of the events in Las Vegas, where a lot of these people meet, called Supply Side West. And yes, very, very much like that particular one. But yeah, turmeric is fantastic. And with some of these fancier ones like the BCM95, you will get greatly enhanced bioavailability. Yes. All right. Let's see what else we got. So, Mr. N says, my real name is Nick Nicholas. Had happy CHOQsgiving last time. Just want to change it quickly. Awesome. Very cool. Nice. Mr. N says, I ordered Vitality regular +7 wonders. Awesome. Awesome. Very cool. Deani says, thoughts on CLA and L-carnitine. So CLA, I don't have strong opinions on. I do know that it was kind of a fad for weight loss for a while. Conjugated linoleic acid. Whether or not it actually works or does anything, I don't know. Supposedly there were some studies showing it was helpful for weight loss. I don't have a super strong opinion on it. I've never really looked into it. It seemed like a bit of a fad kind of thing. L-carnitine, certainly L-carnitine can be helpful for mitochondrial energy production. However, there's a possibility that L-carnitine can have some not so great effects, and that it may contribute to that thing that starts with a C and rhymes with Prancer. There are some indications that diets lower in carnitine could be helpful for that. And also that it might be contraindicated from an immune system standpoint. So I personally don't go anywhere near L-carnitine, but you do need vitamin C to generate L-carnitine. So if you have plenty of vitamin C in your diet, you might just be enabling your own body to manufacture as much carnitine as it wants. But certainly I know there are people out there who swear by carnitine. They say it's the best thing ever for, cellular energy production and mood and all this different stuff. And, perhaps it is, but there's so many other things that are good for that don't have some of the other weird baggage around them that, I personally don't do anything with carnitine and never will. Let's see. Is it true spoiled milk is what makes yogurt? I don't know if you could say that spoiled and cultured are the exact same things. I suppose there's some overlap. Amaranth extract is the plant version you were talking about. I'm not sure, Mihailo, what you were referring to, which product you were talking about. But yeah, let me know. Let's see. Muhammad says, you said last time you're going to make a more powerful version of 7 Wonders. So Muhammad, no, that's not quite what I was meaning to say. We're not making necessarily, or perhaps that is in a sense what I was saying. It's not that we're making a different product that has like a higher potency, but I'm resourcing the mushrooms in Seven Wonders to have mushrooms that have labs on them that actually do show higher levels of beta glucan. So in that sense, yes. So perhaps you actually were totally right, and I misinterpreted what you said. But yeah. And as far as when that's going to be out, Muhammad, I would say sometime between 2 and 4 months from now. Yeah, it's going to be the exact same product, just that I'm sourcing mushrooms that do show a higher potency as far as the lab end goes. Yeah. Let's see. Any good websites to order NAC from? Yes. iherb.com. So iherb.com. iherb.com. Or perhaps I should have done lowercase, so it doesn't look like it's lherb.com, but iherb.com. You can get NAC from there still. Quite a few of their NACs are sold out, but I actually was just there earlier looking for someone, and they do have some NACs still on iherb.com. I seem to recall also, I think Life Extension might have some NAC as well. But yeah, check those sites out. Obviously, Amazon pulled it a long time ago. By the way, quick update on NAC. There are some organizations pushing back, and the latest that I've heard is that the FDA is kind of hitting pause a little bit, and they're, supposedly at least hearing out some of these organizations who are saying that this is not okay and that it's really not legal for them to do this. Who knows what they'll actually decide in the end, but it is an ongoing thing, and it's not 100%. The FDA could always come back, and maybe they will side with some of these organizations. One of them, I believe, is called APA, the American Herbal Products Association. Even though NAC is not an herb, but they are a trade organization that have quite a few supplements companies as part of them. So yeah, that is a thing. N-acetyl L-cysteine ethyl ester, JJ says. That's a new one. That's very interesting. And JJ, are you claiming that this would be exempt from the NAC ban? Is that the idea? Is that somehow the ethyl ester version of NAC would still be allowed? Is that the idea? But no, I've never heard of anything like that. But yeah, JJ, tell me more. That sounds interesting. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, turmeric also, by the way, is really cool. It's called a cholagogue, which is a pharmacology term for something that enhances output of bile from the gallbladder. So, as you guys know, quick bit of physiology, but as you probably know, your liver produces bile, or maybe you don't. Liver produces bile, and then your gallbladder stores it, right? And then your gallbladder, when you eat, your gallbladder's its job is to secrete that bile into the small intestine, which then helps you emulsify, which is create smaller droplets from larger droplets of fat, so that you can then break down and absorb fats. And that's another really cool aspect of turmeric. There's other herbs out there that do that. Dandelion's a cholagogue, so is ginger. Milk thistle's a cholagogue. But yes, that's another thing that's helpful about turmeric. Turmeric does have some actions in the liver gallbladder. It does also support glutathione synthesis. Turmeric is pretty much, it's as good as they say it is. It's a fantastic herb. Yeah. Okay. Z says, can I switch on Action 2.0? No, there are no with the stacks. You can't switch anything out. No, unfortunately. So yeah, there's no modification of stacks. The stack just is what it is. But you can always go into the custom bundle generator still, and you can do anything you want that way. And all the same tiered discounts apply. So just so you guys know, any product page you're on, if you want to know how the tiered discounts work, just go down to where it says see pricing chart on that product page, and click on where it says see pricing chart. And then it'll pop up a little graphic, and it says if you spend a certain amount, you save a certain amount. So no matter what you're getting, if it's a stack or if it's pre-made or just a bunch of individual products, whatever, then you can still save the same amount of money. So you can always just make your own stack and still save money. That's another way to do it. All right. Let's see here. Can you develop a greens type supplement? Yeah, I mean, certainly that wouldn't be I would not be averse to that. We've got other stuff we're working on in the meantime, but that's for sure something that I think we probably should do at some point. Sergio says, "Oh, hey, Beamez, what's up? Hello, how's it going? How are things down under?" Sergio says, does Action 2.0 contain caffeine? Action 2.0 just contains a very tiny amount of caffeine. It's probably under 10 milligrams. It's really just a trace amount. There's a tiny, tiny bit of green tea extract in one of the ingredients, but really, basically, no, it's not really a caffeine. Oh, Mahalo is saying for squalene, amaranth is the plant sourced from. Okay, interesting. Yeah. And typically with that molecule, I think it's going to be present in much larger amounts from an animal tissue, right? But yeah, that's interesting. It's from amaranth. Very cool. Let's see. All right. I heard not verified allergy research can make an NAC. Yeah, sure could be. Like I said, iherb.com, they have at least 4 or 5 brands, I think, still on there you can buy. All right. So Chocolala, that's something I can't actually talk about, unfortunately. But I would email. You can always email our customer service folks. They're not really going to be able to tell you much about that. But yeah, that might be a better way to go about that in private. Let's see here. Are the pre-made chalk stacks discounted more than if you just made your own stack with same products? Mr. N, that's a great question. Yes and no. There's 1 or 2 tweaks that were made where 1 or 2 of them, and I'm not the one who sets the prices, but there's 1 or 2 of them that actually were a little bit, they were priced slightly lower than the regular stack. But for the most part, you're getting about the same price breaks as you would if you made a custom stack. But in 1 or 2 cases, and I forget exactly which ones, it's like a subscription version of one and a subscription version of another, maybe on the smaller stacks. But yes, there are a couple examples where you do save a little bit more money on that. Yes. All right. Whew. Well, now it's time to talk about keto. You guys getting sick of me talking about keto yet? Probably. Well, let's just one more time go ahead and plug this one here. We are going to be talking about the dark side of keto this Friday. I put it off for a while because it requires a lot of research, but it should be pretty interesting. And I think also, just so you guys know, I'm a bit of a rambler. I like to just sort of like use whatever topic I'm on as a jumping off point to talk about all sorts of stuff. So just know we're not just going to be talking about keto the whole time. It's going to be kind of an excuse to learn about a bunch of different stuff and to go on a bunch of different tangents. But yes, of course, I think it is essential to put some information out there to make people aware that there is research showing that it can be dangerous. There is research showing that it can actually decrease muscle synthesis. And there is research showing that some of the weight loss is not from losing fat, but it's from losing water and muscle. And things like that it can predispose you to perhaps, things that are not so great, like cardiovascular issues. So yes, tune in this Friday for a very special, in-depth, 90 minutes to 2 hours deep dive into the dark side of keto. And if you have any keto friends, who want to come there and haze me and yell at me, then tell them to come on in. We'll just see what happens, But yes, we will be talking about a little bit about biochemistry of blood sugar in general. I'll give you some tips, or rather I'll give you enough of a background in this where you'll have a better understanding of how blood sugar actually works. I think one of the most important things to know on this topic is that you don't want to oversimplify blood sugar. We have this extremely dumbed down, idiotic idea of how blood sugar works, where it's like too many carbs equals high blood sugar. And that's just pretty much straightforward. That's how it works. It's actually not how it works at all in reality. And although that is one factor, of course, fat has negative effects on blood sugar. Protein can have negative effects on blood sugar in large amounts. And you can give 2 different people the same amount of carbohydrate, and one of them will have a much worse response than the other. And one of the reasons for that is that if you have excessive amounts of fat, especially saturated fat, then actually that can impair your body's ability to use glucose, right? Also, you'll learn about some other cool stuff in this class too. You'll learn about insulin and what it actually does in addition to helping get sugar into the cells. It also actually helps you put on muscle, interestingly enough. It's an anabolic hormone. And we'll also talk about the benefits of whole food natural carbohydrates and also which particular kinds of people are going to probably do the worst on keto. I'll give you a hint. It's typically women. Women's bodies are women's hormones tend to be more dependent on carbohydrates. And so when you take the carbs low, it can really do nasty things to the female system there. So, but yeah. It'll be fun. It'll be interesting. We'll see who shows up. I don't know, but yeah, I'll do my best to make it about more than just only talking about the dark side of keto. We'll go through a lot of different lessons on how different parts of the body work and things like that. I do also, incidentally, last thing I'll say on this, I do like to shock people by telling people that when I have worked with clients who are looking to support healthy blood sugar, that I don't actually reduce their net carbs. And in fact, I oftentimes increase their net carbs and benefit their blood sugar by doing that. Obviously, we're talking about quality carbohydrates from whole foods, not table sugar, but that's very real. All right. Mr. N, how was my Thanksgiving? It was okay. It was all right. I actually mostly was just by myself, kind of hanging out. I did go to a friend's house, but it was just one, friend I somewhat know, not too well. And actually there weren't a lot of people there I knew. So I, didn't end up staying very long, but my weekend was pretty awesome. Thanksgiving was just so, to be frank, but weekend was pretty great. But yes, thank you for asking, Mr. N. I appreciate that. Muhammad says, opinion on blueberry extract. Blueberry is fantastic. The more blueberries in your life, the healthier you are. As far as I'm concerned, blueberries are absolutely amazing. So I cannot recommend blueberries enough. I think basically, the best way to do it is not going to be an extract, but that's fine too. It's just certainly can be helpful. Best way to do it is just to have lots of wild blueberries in your smoothie every single day if you possibly can, and to eat them every way possible. Wild blueberries, by the way, far stronger than regular blueberries. They contain a compound called dimethyl resveratrol, so similar to resveratrol, and so very helpful for mitochondrial energy production, very helpful for the brain. By some accounts, they do help to remove heavy metals from the body. That's something we learned from Anthony William. So wild blueberry, they're always going to be in the frozen section. Just get those and throw them in your smoothie. That's the best way to do it. But yeah, blueberry can be great. Great for the brain, great for all sorts of stuff. Also is a prebiotic as well. Not the extract. There's not going to be enough fiber in the extract. But if you're eating them whole, then blueberries and wild blueberries especially. By the way, the wild blueberries are, as you guys might know, the smaller ones, and they have a much darker pigment. And as you know, a lot of the really health-promoting foods out there are the ones that do have darker pigments. For example, turmeric, like we were talking about earlier, right? And so if you compare how dark, if you have a regular blueberry, and you have a wild blueberry, and you compare how dark the pigments are, you'll see that the wild blueberry is way darker. So real quick, though, I think it might be time to give away some prizes here. We're just back to regular prizes, not like we went crazy last Friday. But that was a lot of fun for those of you guys who were here. I think most of you guys were. But yes, let's go ahead and do prize number 1, which is one of any CHOQ product, of course. The timer has begun. So we've got 58 seconds counting down. So everybody just get your 2-digit number, your single entry of a 2-digit number in through the chat if you could, before the timer runs out, and we'll see who wins today. Mr. R, it's been a little while since you've won, so maybe today's your day. We'll see. I don't know. And yeah, so by the way, if y'all have it, if you would like to hit the thumbs up button, that would be awesome. Definitely, please feel free to do that. Every like on these videos definitely does help us. And if you are interested, then of course, perhaps even consider maybe subscribing if you haven't already. I see a couple of folks did hit the button. I see that number going up. So thank you very much for that. Appreciate that. Always nice. And looks like the timer has run out. So we are officially done. Okay. And the number was 89. So what do we got? 89. So Natalia is 6 away at 95. Hunter is 5 away at 84. Ooh, Hunter, that's a good one. And then we got a 90 from Dylan here. So is Dylan the winner then? Mr. R, you were fairly close. You're only 8 away. You're in the right neighborhood for sure. But yes, let's check it out. I believe it is Dylan. Mr. Dylan Bowman with 90. You are our official winner for prize number 1. So great job, Dylan. I think this might not even be your first time winning. Is that correct? Have you won before? If so, that's awesome. But yes, email CHOQ@CHOQ.com to claim your prize and just let them know which CHOQ product you would like. Yeah. By the way, I hope we haven't run out of t-shirts. I know that we've been giving out tons and tons of them, probably hundreds in the last few days. So hopefully we've got some shirts left. If for some reason when we do prize number 2, if they do tell you we're out of shirts, I didn't check right before the show, but if we are out of shirts, then, we'll just give you another CHOQ product instead or something. But yeah, hopefully we do still have some shirts in. I know we gave away a ton of shirts. And of course, as y'all probably know, we are out of NAC right now. We did give away all the NAC, the last 5 bottles I gave away on Friday for our Black Friday blowout, which was a lot of fun. I know you guys like the cowboy hat. Obviously, I don't want to overdo the cowboy hat. I want to save it for special occasions, But yeah. JJ, you like the shirts, huh? Awesome. All right, let's scroll up and see what other questions we have here that I didn't get to yet. What do we got here? All right. Somebody's asking about maca root. Yeah, maca can be great. I will say that maca is on the more intense, more on the yang side. So, as are some of these other herbs like tonkat, But yeah, maca can be awesome. But yeah, it can be a little bit intense. So, it just depends on the individual female. But certainly I know it can help with estrogen detox, according to some accounts there. So it can be good. Why does lifting weights increase blood sugar initially while lifting, or is that just me? So JJ, just know that the point of your blood sugar being higher is actually to get more fuel into your cells, right? And so let's say this is your baseline blood sugar and then it goes up just a little bit. That's just giving your cells more access to glucose so they can turn it into ATP so you can work out. And that's not a bad thing at all, right? So if it were like spiking like crazy and actually causing cellular damage, that would be a different story. But blood sugar going up while working out is not a bad thing within a certain range. That is totally normal. Yeah, totally normal actually. And you do want some elevated blood sugar while you're doing physical activity, because again, people have such a pejorative, negative idea. Again, this goes back to the whole keto thing. We have such a negative idea of blood sugar, of sugar, right? In general, sugar is almost like it's like a 4-letter word, even though it's 5 letters, right? We think it's bad, right? But it being a little bit elevated in that particular context is not really a bad thing at all. Yeah, it is fuel. Glucose is an essential fuel that your body absolutely needs. So yeah, let's see here. All right, somebody's asking about organic guar gums detrimental. Mahalo, I really don't think that a small amount of guar gum is probably the end of the world. I personally have never looked deeply into guar gum in terms of its origins, where it comes from, and the different sources of it. So if you do have information on that, feel free to let me know in the comments. By the way, you guys can always ask questions in the comments here, so feel free to do that as well, like later on any of these videos. But yeah, as far as I know, guar gum is not the end of the world. Perhaps some people are really sensitive though to all sorts of different stuff. But again, I can't say I've studied it extensively to know all the different places it comes from. But yeah, I don't think it's probably that bad. Can we lose testosterone and break down after time? Is that also the reason for boosting, or just stay on retention and boost also? Noah, I didn't quite gather your question there. Maybe see if you can reword that one. I didn't quite understand what you were asking there. All right. Nice. Oh, so Dylan, that was your second time winning. Awesome. Well, congratulations. That's very cool. Yeah. Muhammad says thoughts on astragalus. And yes, Muhammad, just so you know, we do actually have astragalus extract in CHOQ Armor. We actually have this one right here called AstraCare. Let's see if we can, AstraCare, which is an organic astragalus extract that is standardized to 50% polysaccharides. So yes, astragalus is fantastic. Oh, and actually, by the way, this other ingredient called estrogen does include a little bit of astragalus inside that ingredient as well. But yeah, so astragalus is a fantastic herb. We use it in Chinese medicine, right? I'm an acupuncturist and Chinese medical herbalist. It's called Huang Qi in Chinese. Huang Qi, very cool. And the thing I love about astragalus is a lot of herbs, they either taste okay or horrible. Astragalus actually tastes good, which is amazing. That's kind of rare. You know what I mean? Fairly unheard of for astragalus to actually taste, or for any herb to actually taste good. But it has like a sweet and savory flavor to it. So in China, it's actually common for them to include astragalus root slices in like chicken noodle soup and stuff like that, which is really cool. And yeah, astragalus is awesome. We consider it in Chinese medicine, it's called a qi, spleen qi tonic, and just general qi tonic, which basically means, adaptogen, and then also it helps boost digestion. Great for the immune system, supports white blood cells. Astragalus is phenomenal. There's also a phytochemical called astragaloside 4 that has gotten on the map for helping to lengthen telomeres, right? It's a genetic thing, has to do with, it's a marker of aging, basically cellular senescence. So, but yeah, astragalus is fantastic. Great herb. I love it. And yes, we do have it in CHOQ Armor. What happens if you have a CHOQ sup after its expiration date? Well, Shamsul, in general, I'll just say in a general sense, most herbs do not necessarily, they just get weaker after expiration. But officially speaking, I don't recommend taking CHOQ or any other products after their expiration date, just to be totally official there. Yeah. But in general, herbs, herbal extracts, dry things like that, they just typically get less potent over time. Yeah. All right. Noah says, can we lose testosterone in any way? Is that the reason for boosting? Well, Noah, what I will say is that with hormones, they tend to, in general, just decline over time. So let's say, for example, if you were doing some blood work to measure testosterone or estrogen or any of these different hormones, whether you're a man or a woman, oftentimes on the actual lab printout, it'll say what the range is depending on your age. So, right, like you're going to have a different range that's expected depending on how old you are. And yes, in general, the older we get, the lower various different sex hormones like testosterone and estrogen tend to be. So that is definitely a thing. Yes. All right. Mahalo is asking about Oro liquid gold technology. No, I've not heard that. That sounds interesting though. So certainly let us know about that. And Noah is asking, can I speak on how astragalus works? So I think I just did that right when we were talking about the different properties of it. Shamsul is asking about CHOQ products for men's sexual wellness, and for anything in the area of healthy libido and things like that. For men, the men's daily and then Tomcat 100 are going to be your top two products. I would recommend, if that's what you're trying to target, if you're looking for that, the Male Vitality Stack Ultra is going to be absolutely the most potent thing that we offer. And here's a link there for you, Shamsul. And of course, Shamsul, you can, if you don't already have a coupon code, we do have one in the comments here. There's also ones you can find on the website as well to save a little bit there. But the Male Vitality Stack has daily Shilajit, Ashwagandha, Action 2.0, and it has 2 bottles of the Tomcat so that you can take a 200 milligram per day dose. But yes, out of the products we carry for that sort of thing, the Daily and the Tomcat are going to be the most potent. Absolutely, yeah. So that's the deal with that. Well, I think it might be time to whip out the random number generator one more time and see what happens, because we might get wrapped up here pretty soon. And then, of course, as you guys know, we'll be going real long on Friday for our deep dive into keto. And I have started the timer, so let's just do this one more time. In case there's anyone who just tuned in who's new, we're going to be selecting a random number between 1 and 100, and I'd like you to give me one entry via the chat sometime in the next 47 seconds. And whoever's closest will win prize number 2, which, of course, is a shirt and a bag of cacao beans. Yes. And thank you, by the way, for all the likes. I do see that those likes continue to go up, so thank you for hitting that like button. I do really appreciate that. That is excellent. All right. Noah says, how many supplements would you say is good to take? Noah, there's no answer to that question, unfortunately, because really it's completely individualized. Age is one of many, many different factors. So it really just depends on the individual and what you personally need, how you're eating, what your body type is, all that kind of stuff. So there is no real answer to that question, unfortunately. And that is a 1 minute on the timer there. So let's see. What is the number? 61. 61. Who is closest to 61? Let's see here. So Shamsul is +6. There's one, not quite. Oh, we've got Sergio with 63. Oh, Noah, you got it right on the money. Noah guessed 61. Well, congratulations, Noah. That's awesome. You won prize number 2. So Noah, email CHOQ@CHOQ.com. Let them know what kind of shirt you'd like, and they'll send you your shirt and your bag of cacao beans. If for some reason they happen to be out of shirts, then just pick another CHOQ product instead of that. But yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations, Noah. Right on the money. That's really cool. So yeah, by the way, we did a little bit later tonight, just, for scheduling purposes. I'm still experimenting with finding ideal times, but in general, we're probably going to stick to, a lot of the time, still closer to the 5 or 6 time. But it is always interesting to see how many people tune in, depending on different, time slots and all that. So, but yeah, I think that's about all we've got for today. I'll be back around closer to our usual time tomorrow. And in general, by the way, we'll be skipping 1 day per week. So I decided to skip Monday this week instead of Thursday, since we did have such a, everybody had such an intense weekend and we had such a blowout kind of thing on Friday. I just figured it made sense to skip Monday. That was what I was kind of feeling. But yeah, but I will see you guys back around here tomorrow, around 5 or 6-ish, somewhere around there, most likely. And definitely stay tuned. Thanks for being here, everybody. Congratulations to our winners. And, of course, much love and stay human. See y'all next time.